Welcome to Empire Building. I'm Wendy Papazan, and together with my 4 co-hosts, we bring you weekly unfiltered conversations about leadership, growing a big empire, and living on your own terms.
I'm Kimber Levitt-Mankiti. We are investors and wealth builders with over $75 million in combined net worth.
I'm Sarah Reynolds. We are visionaries who built more than 50 businesses with over $122 million in annual revenue.
I'm Tiffany Fikes. We've led thousands of people and do it all while being pretty good moms.
And I'm Seychelle Van Poole. We are your podcast to learn how to build big businesses and even bigger lives.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another week here on Empire Building. I am Tiffany Fikes with my amazing co-host, Wendy Papazan.
Woot woot. Hello, my dear.
Hello.
How are you?
So good.
Oh.
It is still cold, and we are chugging along in January. We've almost made it through the month. But we are so excited to be back again this week to finish our series about maximizing the money in your life with meetings that move the needle.
Ooh,
I'm alliterating
money and
here.
Meetings, yes.
Money, meetings, moving the needle.
Money meetings.
So last week we hit on kind of the rhythms that we use, and most importantly, like why you should have these in the rhythm of your life. And we talked about money is emotional and systems kind of make that neutral. And so this being something you talk about with your partner or with your business partner helps you neutralize some of the emotion that comes with money if you do it systematically, as well as small, consistent habits. They compound over time, both at your home, in your personal finances, as well as with your team and in your business. And last but not least, if you don't measure it, it may or may not grow, but you'll have no idea.
What you focus on expands, right? What you focus on expands. Yeah. Well, yeah, such a good recap. And today we're really going to do a deep dive into both the home money. Yeah, we could call it the honey meetings. Yes.
We should call it the honey meetings.
The honey meetings, home and money, honey meetings. I love it because you bring your honey there, right? And they're sweet as all get out, these meetings.
Oh, yeah, right.
So we're going to talk about our home money meetings. And we're going to give you the total framework for this, okay? So just the step-by-step that you need to follow in order to have a successful meeting. And then we're going to talk about the same exact thing, but for your business. So if you're not in a place where you can take notes, make sure you maybe get your pen and paper out and write this down because it'll be really valuable. So as far as the timing goes for your honey meeting, you're only going to need about 45 minutes, possibly a little bit more depending on how complex your financial life is and how dialed in you are. So definitely if this is your first meeting, it's probably going to be more than 45 minutes because you're going to be setting the framework, sort of like laying the groundwork for your future analysis. So we always have it on the calendar, right? It's time blocked and it's the same time, it's the same day, every single month. And because if it's not on your calendar, honestly, it doesn't exist, right? If you're just
you're not going to do it.
No. I mean, if you call it a honey meeting, maybe. But if you're calling it a home money meeting, probably not. So actually, you could just put honey meeting, kind of late at night, invite your partner, see what they say.
See if they show up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay. We're trying to make this fun for you guys. All right.
That's right.
Yeah. So tell us what does that look like?
Okay. So yes, the good thing is this time will diminish. Like Wendy, you and I probably 30 minutes is the max that we're spending on these things now that we've done it for 7 years or 8 years, however long we've been tracking. But here's what you're going to do. Number one, you're going to start with wins. No matter what has happened, you can find some way that you have won in money, something financially that went well this month. It's just good to ground yourself in gratitude.
Yes. And even if you don't have an actual win, the fact that you are at the meeting is a win.
Can be the win. Yes.
That can always be the win. We're here, we're meeting. That's the win. Yeah, that's the win for sure. So yeah, start with wins. And then you want to update your net worth. So what do you guys use to track your net worth?
We our old school. We use an Excel spreadsheet because
Okay.
we've been doing that forever. We have our budget on Monarch, which does have that, but the way that we update it, we like our old school spreadsheet, so we don't change.
Yeah, we're the same. We had used a couple of trackers. I think we'd used Mint, and then we'd use something else. And what happened was when you're not updating it manually, you're not really even paying attention to it.
Yeah.
So if you're just being delivered a net worth number every month. So we did the same as you. We went back to old school spreadsheets. It could be more old school, I guess. It could be like a yellow legal pad.
On paper.
Yeah.
I used to have it on a spiral bound notebook.
There
So
you
I've
go.
upgraded. I've upgraded.
Do you still have that notebook? Please say you do.
I do. And I did my business finances in a spiral notebook also. And so I have
That's amazing.
yeah, it's fun.
I love that.
Yeah. And I even have a husband who throws things away. And so I have to fight him for everything. And I was like, that is not one that I'm going to throw away.
I'm surprised that you're not the thrower awayer. I would have,
Oh,
if I had to
no.
pick between the two of you, I would have picked you as yeah.
No, I think there's always a future purpose for something.
Yeah. You're like Jay that way. Yeah. I'm more like Joshua.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a little nostalgic too. Like,
Yeah,
I don't want to throw away the
course.
notebook because that was the beginning of our business.
Yeah. Jay has notebooks and stuff from like college still somewhere,
Yeah. That's
love that.
awesome. Okay, so whatever you use, update it. I kind of agree with you, Wendy. The actual act of changing the number in the spreadsheet, it forces you, again, to give attention to it versus you just look at information delivered to you and move on. And you're forced to see, did that number go up or did that number go down?
You got to pay attention to it. Yeah.
When you're updating your net worth, when we say update your net worth, we're not talking about just the big number at the bottom. Like, what is your net worth? It's all of your assets minus all of your liabilities. And so we go in, what's the bank account? What's the Schwab account?
How is your setup? I'm just curious. What do you do first? We're really going to nerd out here. Okay. So you have cash accounts first. That's at the
Yes,
top
we
of
have
your-
cash accounts first.
So interesting. That's at the bottom of ours. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I know. Huh. So I'm saying
That's
we're really
fascinating.
nerding out here. We have real estate at the top.
Okay.
Well, and we don't update it that much. We're updating it maybe every 6 months or something like that. We're not updating the value of our real estate every single month. And then what do you have after that? Just out of
Okay, so we have
curiosity.
cash. And then this is not something we plan to talk about. That's so funny. We have cash, and then we
Okay.
have all of our paper assets.
Okay.
And then we have our properties. And then we have our debts.
So paper assets are like your stocks and things like that, or
Yeah, stocks, IRAs, 401ks, like
All your
all
equities.
We've invested in different businesses. I mean, I guess that's technically paper assets, so that's up there too.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't control the business, it's up in that top category of
yeah.
what we call paper assets.
So we've got real estate, then those equities, then we've got our businesses after that. And then we've got kind of other stuff. Then we've got some loans in there.
Like loans that you've taken or loans you've given to other people.
Loans like given to other people.
Yeah. We have that up in our what we call paper assets too. Equities, that's a much better word.
Yeah.
We're going to change that this month at our meeting. We're going to call them equities.
What do you have it called? Paper assets?
I think so. This is old.
You're really
old.
leveling up here. I love it. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay, I love it. And then we have our cash at the bottom. So there you go. And then, of course, you've got liabilities underneath that, right? Or do you do that on a separate page? Or how do you do that?
No, yeah. Liabilities are underneath that.
At the bottom. Yeah. And then at the very, very bottom, you've got your total net worth, which is everything you own minus everything you owe.
And we literally go line by line through all of those things. I mean, we don't update the properties every month. We probably update them twice a year, but literally pull up every account. What is the account? And if I was using Monarch or I was using, one of those apps that will track for you, you could still do that. Let them track it for you so you're not having to log into all these different accounts, and then you can just put it into your spreadsheet. That'll be a time saver for you, but while still
Oh,
getting
that's
the
smart.
psychological benefit of changing the number every month.
Oh, that's so smart. I never thought to do that. Because I'm logging into all these, mortgages and things like that.
Yeah. Look at you leveling up, Wendy. Leveling up.
What? I always learn from you. I'm so lucky to have you as my podcast partner. I'm always learning from you. Yeah, I love that.
I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's a big part of the meeting is like, all right, we're going to look at these numbers change. that's how we start the meeting. Or, well, we've done our gratitude, then we start that. And then what happens next, Wendy?
Yeah, well, just one thing with that, you don't want to obsess over like the minutia, right? You know what I mean? Because of course, especially the stock market has been very volatile, and the stock market is always very volatile. So don't get too crazy, because when your net worth gets pretty big, you can, fluctuate a lot of money in the stock market every month. So you can't like focus on that too much. All right. So then really the next part of that meeting is to think about anything we've got that's upcoming. Okay. So big money events. Maybe Christmas is coming, right? Christmas just passed. Were you able to think about and plan for Christmas? Or did you just go crazy on Black Friday because you're trying to fill some hole in your heart from childhood?
That's the emotion we're talking about with money.
You've got, I have 2 kids in college right now. So I'm sure you and Joshua, you've got kids that are heading that way, and it'll go by in a minute, right? Are you guys thinking about talking about how we're going to pay for college? It's crazy. $80,000 a year for some of these colleges. That's a chunk of money.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Maybe you need a new car. Maybe you need a roof. Maybe one of your rental properties needs a roof.
Yeah.
What are those really big things?
One of the things we're talking about, we have a big travel year. Like, we're going on a big trip with my parents for their 50th anniversary. We haven't gone on a trip with our family for a while either. And so we're going to go on a big trip. And so that's one of the big upcoming money events that we're like, all right, making sure that we are prepared and emotionally prepared to spend that money and feeling great about it. So that's one of the things we're talking about.
Well, and one of those books, I can't remember which one it was. I think it was one of the Happy Money books that I read that was so good. They talk about prepaying as much as you can on your vacation, which I actually have really loved that advice, because then when you're going on the vacation, you're not like freaking out about all this money that you're spending because you've already spent it. And you don't get this giant vacation hangover where you get this massive credit card bill. So if you're taking a big trip, like Jay and I are going to Japan this year, and he's doing a hike from Kyoto to Tokyo, and I'm just going to join him for a week afterwards. But that's, Japan's an expensive place to travel to. And so can we, book our Airbnb in advance? Can we book our flights, in advance? Can we do any of these things so that once we get there, it's not such a sticker shock?
Tax deadlines also, which when you talk about our spreadsheet, we have a separate column on our net worth spreadsheet where we are like tracking our saved tax money.
Yeah.
It's separate. It's not on our net worth sheet because I don't want to see it leave because it's not mine.
No, it's so true. Yeah. Well, it's like our 529. We had a college fund for our kids. And for the longest time, we had it on our net worth. But I was like, this isn't really our money,
Oh, yeah, that's smart. That's where ours is sitting. It shouldn't be.
Well,
yeah,
there you go.
It's not our money.
Well, we're leveling up again.
We are just getting so good on this call.
Yeah, well, because if you have a lot of rental properties that are paid off, which we do, so they're not being escrowed, like our tax bill this year is upwards of $92,000.
For property tax.
For property taxes. Yeah. You don't want to roll into the end of the year and be like, oh, shoot, I forgot to account for that.
So all the things we've talked about that are talking in this money meeting are money going out. You also can have a big money event coming in, like a really big commission or a bonus or something exciting. And that's something you talk about too. Like, hey, when this happens, what do we want to do with it? Because you're going to pre-decide what to do with it at these meetings so that you're hitting your goal and hitting your target. And so you can talk about that too at these meetings.
I love that. We just got I'm on a board of this business that we invested in, and I wasn't sure about the investment, but one of the board members asked me for a commercial referral I think it was in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
And so I literally just connected this person to this commercial agent there. And I didn't really even follow up, if I'm honest, because so many commercial referrals are kind of. Anyway, we got a commission referral check for $65,000.
Wow.
Not $6,500, $65,000. And so, we had to have a sit down on our team, with my director of ops, like, oh, this is totally unexpected income for November. And that's awesome.
One of the other big money conversations we had, and it's mostly because it's just happened, but end of the year, we just had the last meeting we had was our December one. And we still had money to give away. And so what we actually did, because we have general things and organizations we support, but we also have a goal of how much money we want to give away every year. And so that account kind of builds, and we got to the end of the year and hadn't given it all away. And so we got to sit down and say, hey, who do we want to bless? Is there an organization? Is there something we haven't done? Do we want to give more to people? And so that's another conversation that we have at our money meetings.
I love that. I spent that $65,000 on your Christmas present, by the way.
Oh, I haven't received it yet. It's shocking.
It's coming your way. It's really big. Yeah, if you get a live animal package, that's what it is.
That's funny. I think I'd rather just have the $65,000 than a
want a
large
tiger?
animal in New York City.
Your boys would love it.
Oh, yeah. My boys would love a tiger.
They'd be popular. How big is your apartment?
900 square feet.
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay, so you've been grateful. You've updated your net worth. You've had the big money conversations about what's upcoming. Now you look back and see, where did we spend our money last month? This can be a positive. It may be a heated conversation. Don't be afraid of either of those. Again, like Wendy said last week on the call, the more honest you are with people less frequently, the less likely you are to blow up in big ways relationally. So we look back and say, all right, how did we do last month? Do we need to adjust anything? How do we feel about it? What do y'all talk about looking back?
A friend of mine was talking with me about her executive MBA experience, and it really got me thinking. It's a big investment, it's expensive, it's time consuming, and you're gambling on who you'll meet, who your professors are going to be, and what you're actually going to get out of it. Our conversation reminded me of why we created Empire Circle at Her Best Life. We flipped the script and created something really special for our experiential learners like me. While academia is absolutely important to our community as a whole, it doesn't always equate to what we need while we are building the big business in real time. With Empire Circle, you'll learn from women who've actually built the big businesses and who are still in the arena doing it. You don't have to step away. Our retreats take you to exotic locations instead of classrooms where you'll grow your revenue, hone your strategy, find your community, and expand your big, beautiful life all in real time. Why step out of your business when you can step into Empire Circle? Apply for Empire Circle now at herbestlife.com.
That's why having goals around where you guys want to go together financially is really important, because if you don't have a goal, right, around saving or investing or anything like that, then some people just have this kind of, there's something in them that just wants to spend all the money that they have. And which kind of makes sense if you don't have a goal, right? Why keep it, right? Why keep it?
Right.
So that's why kind of being on the same page about your desires financially. And I think sometimes if you're not having this conversation, then you've got one person who's like, oh, I wish we were saving, this kind of person, this other person who's kind of clueless, right? Doesn't really understand, not making the connection. And it's just kind of spending the money as it comes in. And so having this conversation every month, hey, we really talked about how we wanted to buy an investment property so that, our kids don't have to worry about college. Right. And so we need to save a certain amount every month. So just kind of tying that to the bigger picture, the big why, I think can be really important. And that's the whole point of budgeting. Otherwise budgeting's just, it's not fun.
Totally.
Yeah. And then it's just yuck,
So you look back over last month and then you look forward to, all right, this next month that we have in front of us. What's the plan? How do y'all do that, Wendy?
Well, we have our budget, so we know what we're going to spend every single month. And, we're looking forward, seeing if there's any big expense that might be coming up. So like I said, I got 2 kids in college and they don't surprise you. They send you a million warnings. And, for instance, Gus goes to a small liberal arts college. His tuition bill is $20,000. So we have to plan and think about that. So, and if that's coming up in January, which it will be, then, we need to make sure we have that conversation. And then just any kind of automatic investing, automatic savings. We're in a point right now where we've got 2 really big developments that we're working on. So one is a $2 million development here, and one is basically a $2 million development in California. And we're having to have a lot deeper conversations here because we've been a little bit on autopilot, paying down the debt, all that kind of stuff. Rental properties kind of,
You just follow the program. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just following the program. And now we're really kind of maximizing and pulling money out of things and, to pay for this construction. And so these meetings are a lot more detailed than they have been. Because it's like, okay, well, where is this money coming from? And I know we have this tax refund coming, and I know we have this. And so trying to figure out, playing a little bit of like money Tetris in order to pay for some of these developments, because we don't necessarily want to get a loan if we don't have to, or we're refinancing properties kind of to pull money out. And this part of it is very detailed. Yeah. But in the past, it's kind of been like a little bit on autopilot, if that makes sense.
But you're optimizing. Like you're in optimizing mode. And that's why these meetings are so important, because you couldn't do it without this meeting.
No, absolutely not.
So you look forward, you make your plan, and then together agree on one financial priority for the month. Maybe that's finding, $1,000 to save more. Maybe it's paying off a debt or paying down a debt. Maybe you're going to increase giving by 1%, or maybe you need to reevaluate a rental property and figure out if you want to keep it, or maybe it's time to sell it and put it into a new investment. Like one thing. I know there's a million. We talked about this last week. There's a million things. You can only do one, especially if there's one of you or two of you. You only have so much time.
And then, you're just finishing up with appreciation. Money meetings should feel like a partnership, like we're on the same page, like we're working together for a big goal. And that feeling may take a while. It's not a performance review. It's not where I'm perfect, you suck. I handled my money perfectly this month and you couldn't resist the pumpkin spice lattes. Like, it's not that kind of conversation, but you're just appreciating each other. Thank you for being on this journey with me. I'm so excited that we have this big goal that's coming up. Great job on paying off this debt. Great job in maximizing our 401k, whatever it is, just end with a little appreciation. And if there's nothing to appreciate, then the appreciation is thank you for being here at this meeting with me.
Yes, because that's what I was going to say, because there are a lot of partners who will not show up to these meetings. And so if you have someone who's willing to show up, you have something to be grateful for and something to appreciate in them, because we hear all the time people whose partners will not be willing to have these conversations with them.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's the money meeting at home. Like we talked about last week, it transitions very similarly.
Sorry, I'm just laughing about buying that tiger for you. I'm just laughing at my own joke. Sorry.
But these money conversations transition to work as well, and they're very similar. So we're going to dive into that monthly P&L. We already kind of hit on what do you look at weekly if you've got a cash flow business that really needs more attention in the balance sheet and those sort of things. But we're going to deep dive in the monthly P&L.
Yeah. So you're going to pull the P&L out with either yourself, could be your team, could be your director of operations, could be your finance person, whatever it looks like, could be your bookkeeper, right? If you need accountability, you can go over it with your bookkeeper. You'd have to pay that person, but you could do that. And then of course you're looking at like gross income, right? The money that's coming in, your cost of sales. Okay. What does that look like? How much money is going out to, if you've got a real estate team, how much are you paying your agents? You got fixed expenses. These are the monthly expenses that you're paying no matter what, whether you sell anything or not. And then you got income minus cost of sale and expenses gives you your profit at the end of every month. And you're just asking yourself the question, what went up? What went down? Why did it go up? Why did it go down? And then once you're figuring that out, right, is it okay? Are we on budget? Are we on track, right? And if not, what did we do? Oh my gosh, we went to a real estate conference and we signed up for 10 shiny objects. And now we've got fixed expenses that are double what they were 6 months ago. Okay, well, what do we need to do? Do we need to get rid of some of those? Have we not used them, right? What needs to be fixed or improved? And that's the rhythm of a monthly P&L meeting.
Yeah. I always say the reason I'm like, how I think about my role at the monthly P&L meeting is I'm following my curiosity, like wondering, what do I wonder about? Or I'll look at an expense and I'll say, that feels big. Was that the same as last month? And so then I'll go and compare it and be like, oh, because, there's a few weeks or a few months in the year where you have 3 payroll periods in the same month. And so your personnel expense is much higher 2 months out of the year. I think that's how the math works out. But then there's also your payroll company made a mistake. And so like you need to say, oh, was that a payroll mistake or was that this is the month where there's 3 payrolls? So that's how I think about it. I always go to follow your curiosity, wonder about everything.
So smart. Yeah. Nobody cares about your money as much as you do.
Yeah.
Nobody will ever care about your money as much as you do. So whether it's someone who is a director of operations that's been there for a long time or your bookkeeper, no one cares about it as much as you. So you should definitely come with curiosity, like Tiffany said, and just take a look. And then you're comparing that P&L to your budget. Okay. So you've set a budget. You said, I'm going to spend this amount of money on lead generation this year. Okay. Am I on track for that? Right? It's halfway through the year. Have I spent 50% of my budget? Am I behind? Right? Sometimes we need to spend more money to make more money.
Yeah.
Are we ahead? Right? Have we spent way too much money? And that's okay because one of our lead gen things required some upfront costs, right? So it's just coming from curiosity there.
So checking against the budget, then you want to, if you are not okay with whatever is happening, like if you're like, nope, we're out of line, you need to look for what's in there that can get cut. Like where are the zombie expenses that you can go after and get out of there? There's, like Wendy said, you may have signed up for something that's a subscription that you're not even using. I know Seychelle, I can't remember what episode it was, but she talked about the fact that in one of these meetings, she discovered they'd been paying for something for 8 years, a monthly expense for 8 years.
Yikes.
And didn't even have a login for it. But it was a small thing, but she
still.
Finally got down to it and found it.
But still.
Yeah. That's what you can find.
Like you can go on your phone and you can, if you have an Apple phone, they will tell you what kind of subscriptions that you have. Like you probably don't even know. Or I know when I was banking with Wells Fargo, that was something that they did too, which is like they just outlined all of your monthly subscription costs. That was the things that you're paying every single month in one kind of convenient way so that you could just look through them and be like, I don't even know what that is,
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that.
So finding those, as well as like an example of something we did, we solved a problem in our business with 2 pieces of technology. We had 2 databases because we were very farming based at the time. The one we were using didn't allow for exporting addresses without emails. And so we just got another one. And then we just lived with it for years and years and years and sort of woke up one day and was like, why are we paying for 2 of these? Maybe there's a solution now. There wasn't 8 years ago, but maybe there's a solution now.
Yeah.
And so we went and we found a technology solution that worked good enough, wasn't perfect, but it allowed us to stop paying for 2 technologies and just 1.
Yeah. And then you're asking yourself like, okay, well, what is our next financial move? You're probably going to have it built into your budget. But, I was at a board meeting for a local nonprofit that I am involved with. And it's been rough. I mean, they're doing awesome, but it's been rough for a lot of nonprofits this year because a lot of the cuts in federal funding.
Yeah.
And so you might be thinking, gosh, I'm just not on track to make the money that I want. And I had it in my budget to hire this person, right? I might just have to delay that because I just don't have the money for it, right? So you're making decisions as you go. It's not a totally fixed thing. It's a fluid thing, your budget is. And so you're reforecasting and making changes based on what you're seeing in your current P&L. So, yeah.
Yeah. So do you hear how familiar that is? Like, it's kind of the same thing as what you do at home. You're looking backwards, you're looking forwards, you're comparing it to, are you on track for your goal? And then what do we need to do? What's the move we need to make? What's the investment we need to make? Or do we need to adjust our budget because the income isn't exactly the same? Like, what's that right next financial move? And that's the monthly P&L meeting.
Well, and then if you are an empire builder, and we chatted briefly about this in our last episode, but you will probably have a quarterly finance meeting, and it's probably going to involve someone from home and someone from work. So as your financial world grows, and you might have a partner who owns businesses, or they've got some stuff going on that maybe you don't 100% know about. This is something we started about 4 years ago, actually. And so we do a quarterly finance meeting, and we have someone else prepare this for us. My director of finance, Alex, prepares this for us, and we just get on a Zoom and she walks us through. And that's kind of like that neutral third party too.
Yeah.
It's more like a real business meeting. And so we are going over, cash in each businesses, how each business is doing. We're talking about investments. We're talking about like returns on investments. We're talking about what's our net worth, 90-day trend. Do we have taxes coming up? All kinds of stuff. Whatever your financial world looks like, this is an opportunity for you just to review it in a more like formal way. And then what's nice is then you've got basically a slide deck that has all of that in one place. And so it's just kind of a record too, moving forward in case, you need to remember things or you just have questions, you can refer back to it. So
yeah, I love that because it does. That's your whole world, because you are having these home meetings, you're having these business meetings, and zooming out. It's so smart. Like zoom out, look at all of it, make sure everybody who is touching pieces across all the worlds knows what's going on. Because Joshua and I were just talking about this the other day, like his brain on something is different than my brain on something. And so I can ask him on his expertise over here in a world he doesn't touch. And he can do the same, where he's like, I need you to pick this apart. Like, bring your curiosity to this because I'm not asking enough questions. And this quarterly meeting helps your partnership.
Yes.
Grow.
Well, and it's also good because you've got this third person who's also saying like,
yeah,
what is this? This is different. They're approaching it with their skepticism and their critical eye and saying like, why is it this way? Because they may not be involved in the day-to-day business of any of it, right? They might just be seeing the financials. And so something that's quite clear to one of you, or maybe even both of you, may not be clear to them. And it's just a good opportunity to get that third party perspective. And it's not going to be a full-time person, probably. You'd probably have a family office at that point. And it could be your director of ops who's doing that for your family. It could be an executive assistant. It could be, someone in your world who could help you pull that together. Because it does take a certain amount of time. And once you get your systems together and it also helps them understand your world as well. So if you've got like an executive assistant, it really helps them get the big picture too. So it's been valuable for us.
Okay, we've done 2 weeks talking about money. It's my favorite.
Money meetings.
It's my favorite. So hopefully, I've gotten a new idea. Wendy's gotten a new idea.
Yeah, I'm always taking
hopefully
notes.
you've walked away with something, either a new rhythm you can institute, a new idea to make yourself more efficient. But more than anything, this is just something we want to see you commit to do. It may not feel natural. It may not feel fun, but this is the difference between you and your partner, or just you hitting your financial goals and just wishing you could have your financial goals. So don't discount this.
Yes, I love that. Yeah. So go out there, build your big business and even bigger life. And you need money to do both of those. So make sure you have your honey meetings, your money meetings, and I guess your work money meetings. So have a great week, guys.
Bye.
This podcast is for general informational purposes only. The views, thoughts, and opinions of the guest represent those of the guest and not Keller Williams Realty LLC and its affiliates, and should not be construed as financial, economic, legal, tax, or other advice. This podcast is provided without any warranty or guarantee of its accuracy, completeness, timeliness, or results from using the information.